All right, how you doing, everybody? Golden, how you doing, darling? Um, I just wanted to come on here and I always say quick and short, and it never ends up being so. So I'm so sorry for that, darling. But anyway, I'm trying my best to do this thing here and I want to. I really do. Anyhow, um, just for starters, I hope you. I really do, and this is for Golden. Uh, Ms. Golden, I really do hope that you got a chance to see uh, what 4 nights of my heart and soul went into, because that, you know, doing this kind of stuff's one thing, but when you do, like music videos or short films or movies or anything like that, it takes forever. And, they call it post-production. So it's like in the post-production process after you've got your footage shot and everything, and they call them the dailies of what you shot or whatever. Even if you're just doing something simple as like a music video or something, and you've already got footage or whatever, it takes forever. So I'm so sorry for that, and I hope I don't have to take that long again. But I do hope you got a chance to see it. It did come straight from the heart, and like I said, there's a little something implied in there, and I just my thing is I really, whoever sees it, I want it to be felt, and there's a little thing with music and particular emotions on film and things like that. It really does. If you do it right, it works. So anyway, I hope it was heartfelt, just as it was for me. And Golden, that was just for you, darling. I wanted to give you, another. I told you I like to give gifts, so that was just another one from me. And I, really do hope that you got a chance to see it. I gave you, I think it was like 3 or 4 different uh, links to see that, and Beauty and the Beast. I'm sure you kind of caught on where it was Beest versus Beast, although at the end it kind of came back too. I don't know if you caught that at the end, but you know, uh, TV land and movie land and real life is much different. And what I also tried to do was bridge it back so you could come back. Once I took you to movie land or music video land, to bring you back as well. So that was one little thing I tried to do at the end there. So I hope you got a chance to catch it. I left about 3 or 4 links up there in I think I called it Golden 17A. That's what that was. But when I checked later, it was, still up there. It was just, saved as private. So that's how I used it, and I didn't see any reason why I couldn't. And recently, as I checked, it was still up there. So I didn't see any reason why I couldn't, forward that link onto you as well, included with all the other ones. So anyway, I hope you got a chance to see it. I really did work hard on that for you, darling, and I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, and like I said, I hope it was as heartfelt on your side as it was on this side, because I really do mean that, and I really did mean that. Okay. All right. And one more thing. This is for Golden as well. Uh, you know what, darling? I kind of noticed you had a little different background on the. If you don't mind me saying so, I mean, I'm so sorry if I just, you know, telling you what I noticed, but I think it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. I noticed you had a little different background on the first, almost like the past 1, 2, or 3 nights or so. And if, usually when, at least from what I saw, with that kind of background, it usually means that somebody has achieved a brand new place. And, if that's the case, and please forgive me if I don't mean to be nosy or anything, but but if that's the case, I just wanted to tell you, darling, I am so, so proud of you. Because usually that means nothing but, moving on, and it's hard to do it nowadays. But I wanted to say I'm so proud of you, darling, for being able to do that. I only wish you the best and hope that you know, that you enjoy it and you enjoy your new place. That's what they're there for. And anyway, I wish you only the best. And if that is the case, I also wanted to say, forgive the word here, but I also wanted to say, congratulations to you. You, of anybody that I know, deserve it. And I just wanted you to know that, okay? I'm so proud of you, darling, if that's the case. And one more thing I wanted to mention to you. And I got one more thing to tell you, which you're going to probably get a kick out of at the end of this. But on your membership, if you remember, I've been going through several attacks with this blocking team that's on me. And how, and I'm going to go into a little bit of it here shortly. But, if you remember, I got attacked with all the credit attacks and credit card attacks and all that stuff. They were charging $300 and all that stuff on my card. Well, part of it was having to change cards and things like that. So don't worry about your membership, darling. I'm going to go ahead and continue that as soon as I get the chance here and make sure that it's safe to go ahead and forward that. I've been having to lock the card and all that stuff, so it's been a big mess. It didn't work at first, now it seems to work. And so, anyway, don't you worry your pretty little heart out about that. I'm gonna take care of that for you too, okay, darling? So don't worry about that. I will get that continued as soon as I can here, and it should be this month here. Okay, so I just want you to know that, and so you don't worry about that. All right, now for information time here, and this includes everybody here. And Mr. Golden, darling, don't forget. I got one more thing to tell you. I'm gonna wait till the end because I think you're gonna get a kick out of it. And I just hope you don't think I'm too much of a dingbat for sharing that with you, or what I'm going to here. But anyway, stick around for the end. You'll get a kick out of that probably, and probably an even bigger one when you actually view that. So anyway, for information time here we go. This is for everybody. So one of the first things I wanted to cover here was, again, these blocking teams. And one of the reasons why, and this is besides everything I've already said back on some of the previous presentations I made about them surveilling you 24/7 with their 2 types of technology they use to do it. The U.S. Air Force holds the patents, both attacking and defending, for those technologies, which is kind of unbelievable, because that means they're allowing these idiots to attack sovereign Americans in their own country. And that is just inexcusable. That's the 2 different kinds of technology. It's V2K or V2 Skull and ME service, or Mini Embedded Stereo Vision System, and or vision hijacking. That's what that is, okay? That's what it lets them and enables them to be able to watch you 24/7 as you do anything. Okay? And it's only when they know that you know about your estate, which is actually only your business side. It's your E-state, enterprise state. Pay attention to the space shuttle names. That gives away a lot. But your enterprise state is your business side, your business state, as well as your state of being state. That's your private side. And when they know you know about that, they'll deploy one of these blocking teams out on you. And besides that, they'll do that usually when you send in something either to the supposed IRS or anybody else and claim it. That's when they'll deploy these blocking teams out on you. They'll start intercepting your mail, anything to do with your estate. They'll start blocking it from you getting anything, from you sending out anything, trying to isolate you, and they will tell you that themselves, and they'll try to cut you off from the outside world so they can hopefully make you meet your demise with, under the guise of civil, CIVIL happenings. Okay? And that's how they do it. Now, before I get to that, and I recently saw something with the supposed Congress that covered what makes them do that. But before I get to that, let me just tell you what happened to me tonight. And this is the kind of idiot stuff that they do. Besides watching you and all that stuff 24/7 as you do anything, and I mean anything. What happened to me tonight was, and they've done it several times. I like to have, after you compute the monies to get to a store and come back, whatever, it's better to just have DoorDash do it for you. So, at least for me. So, and it saves time and everything too. So, when I did that, and you, let's say, make your order for the month or whatever, and it takes a while. It takes me a while. Right as soon as you do that, right when you get to the checkout, where you're going to check out, well, they get into my device. They've been getting into my devices for years. A lot of them have no service. But even the ones that do, especially the ones that do, they get into the devices. They'll plant their scheduled future tasks in them. They'll send task files in there, and they'll self-actuate on the scheduled time frame. They'll shut your phone down, or they can do it live. Well, tonight, after it took me about an hour to get all that together, just before I checked out, meaning at the cashier line of DoorDash, whatever, they shut the phone down. There's a way to get it back, and I know that way. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it's a matter of changing some batteries around and stuff, but not cool at all. It's pure treason. It's 100% pure treason. It's war crimes. It's crimes against humanity. That is trying to cut off your supply line, people. That's what they do in war. And like I said, you need to go back and look at a PDF called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. And they'll explain to you how they supposedly, with nobody knowing, declared war on the American people. They, meaning the intelligence community in this country, which are not with this country, they're not part of this country, no matter what agency they say they're with. And because they're all quasis, that means not with the actual thing. And they all nest in all those intelligence communities. And that's the Franks, or the Franconians, the Franks. That's the Nazis, so you don't see them, or the Nazis. And then the, originally coming up from Egypt. If you look that up in the dictionary, again, it will tell you They're all con men, con women, actresses, actors, grifters, uh, all that. They're gypsies, in other words. So that's how they make. They don't want to work for a living. They want all the fruits of human labor, but they don't want to work for it. They want everybody else's stuff, not try to make something of themselves and have it their own for their own self. They just want to steal everybody else's stuff because they know they have nothing. They have no talent, no property. I don't care if they, because anything that they have nowadays, people, it was bought with your and yours and mine, our resources. The robbery happens at the point of sale because the American dollar is a fallacy, it's a fake, as well as all currency right now. We're supposed to be dealing in capital, and it says it right on each piece of currency. I think I went over that a couple nights ago. But the robbery happens not when they issue it. They're not supposed to be issuing anything. That's our privilege. But it happens at the point of sale. So whoever has the most stuff right now, the most luxurious stuff and all that stuff, mostly in most cases, most all cases. There's a rare few, but mostly in most all cases. That's the ones with the most evidence, and that's how you can tell. Okay, who had the connections to do it, who's been let to do it by selective service. That's what that means. They always like to make two meanings for things, and all that stuff that I already explained. But anyway, so with what happened to me tonight, these blocking teams, they get into my devices, they shut down your phone. It takes a very long time to bring them back up. Sometimes I've had to redo all my, what applications are in your phone. Sometimes 5 times over, because they'll shut the phone down 5 times over. This is the stuff they do, people. And they'll do it, to me, they do it because they watch everywhere I go. Even whether I'm at home or whether I go to the doctor's office or to the store or to wherever, right before you call, for, let's say, a lift to take you back home, they'll shut it down right there. So I have to carry literally a complete arsenal of batteries, battery packs, power banks, different wires, different adapters, everything with me wherever I go so I can change it over. Because that's how you get your phone back. At least temporarily until they do it again, and then you have to do it all over again. But they do it constantly. And that is pure war crimes. It's crimes against humanity, and it's 100% pure treason. And that is what happened, and I will say this, that is what happened to MK Ultra. So they can, on all their abductees, to use it on all their abductees, the American abductees they have, so they can attack the American people in ways like this, and hopes of taking over the country. And, I'm going to go into a little bit about, I think I mentioned a few nights back, I mentioned the Fifth Reich. The third was they never did disappear people. The third, as I said the other night, the Third Reich was what was in Germany. It's now known as the Weimar Republic. They have an office for their constitution. They call it the Constitution. But an office for the Constitution outside of Germany. Okay, and I wonder what they mean by that. So, but the Third Reich was the one that supposedly got, destroyed in World War II. All they did was take a little sub-ride to, as it seems, to be, via many files. They took a little sub-ride down to, as it appears to be, and through many files that are not released to the public, at least in large part, to Argentina, or Buenos Aires, or wherever it is down there in South America. And they still go there for vacations today. And that I know for a fact through experience. And that was known as the Fourth Reich, which is called survival and planning. And then the Fifth Reich popped back up, guess where? Right here. And I'll go into some of the signs that you can tell that is exactly what they did, but they have to remain hidden or not seen for it to work. Because when the people know, it doesn't work anymore, and they'll literally just chase them down. Alright, so anyway, tonight, right after I got all that back up, I got it up long enough to finish the DoorDash checkout, and lo and behold, boom, down it goes again. And I have to do it every time they do it. And I have to be ready with extra batteries, extra phones. I've got like 10 different phones, which is stupid. And most of them don't have service, and they get into it anyway because they have their own pathway in there. And they use all tools by Google to do all of their hacking. And that's who they also used to break into one of my credit cards and charge the $300 with Google methods. Google is the only company, people, that I know of that's that large that doesn't have a working phone that you can actually call and get somebody to answer on the other line, not even an answering service. So when you run across any business that is that large and doesn't have a working phone where you can get somebody on the other end, that's almost like a tell, people. That's almost like a self-identification that, yeah, we're one of the Nazi companies. And I mean that, because I had to do all of this year after year after year. But anyway, so that's basically kind of just one of the things what happened to me tonight. But usually it's like when I go to the doctor's office or wherever, right before you are to call something for, I'd like to take you back, whatever, down it goes. And that's several times in a row now. It's been going on for almost a year already. So don't tell me that's by chance. Okay? This is what these blocking teams do. Not only do they try to block you from your estate because they're using your estate privileges. You have unlimited capital, people. It means anything you can. It's like signing for it and putting it on the room. But they're using it. Okay? It's called capital. And that's the privileges that they're using instead of you. In other words, taking your way of life away from you. There is no money of account. There is no money for accounts. It's only capital, and it's only you have unlimited capital within you, AU. On the periodic table stands for gold. Sorry, darling, I don't mean to refer to you, but it's your pumping blood that is your gold. And it's what enables you and lets you sign for anything. Why do you think they have so many stories of vampires sucking blood out of people? Because they want your gold, but it doesn't work that way. You can't get it that way. All the Twilight book series being so popular, or all this, bloodthirsty, whatever, all over the place, that's why. It's because they want your gold. But they're psychopaths. Every one of them are psychopaths. It doesn't work that way. In fact, people, in reality, you can't give them your estate, meaning your business side, so they can steal your privileges. They have to make another money. They have to make another form of currency or money for their little game of deception to work. Because it doesn't. It doesn't work. So in reality, you can't give, even if you wanted to, you can't give your estate to anybody. You can't, because it's within you, and it is your essence, and it is you. So just to make that clear. So anyway, that's what happened to me tonight. And it'll usually comes every day, and it'll usually come at the very times where you're gonna need your phone or whatever, and that's when they'll start attacking you. They attack you mostly digitally, remotely, and via frequency. And that's when they attack you, and they'll try to do it in the most severe, profuse way possible so that you cannot operate, or it'll be under the guise of a civil cause, so that the police who protect them, and they do protect them, at least in my case, it's been 7 years, can say, oh, well, that's mostly a civil thing. We don't get involved in those, really. How about voyeurism? How about spying? How about espionage and stuff? All that stuff you should, but they just did not want to listen to it most of the time. However, it's a little different now because they're going to have to choose if they're with this country or not. And I do mean that because it is much different now. So that's kind of what happened to me tonight, and what happens when I tend to go out. They always want to attack you at just the right times, and intercept mail at just the right times, and block this at just the right times. Or if you want to go get a car or a house or something, and call them ahead at just the right times, or the bank just the right times, so they can block you. But they have to be able to watch you, and they do, and it's 100% pure treason, people, and they need to go. Now, recently I was saying I saw Congress. I was watching Congress. They were talking about this. There is no conspiracy theorist. If you learn something or see it, and it's not right, that's a conspiracy factist or a conspiracy researcher. But again, don't forget how you're supposed to say it. It's con men and con women. I've already explained who those are. It's a cons piracy. That's how it's said. And that's how it's spelled. They're committing inland. They're not supposed to go inland. But on the sea, or inland, meaning on the land, they're not supposed to be committing piracy. And they do it to the American sovereigns every day. It's their war attack. They're warring on the American people. With these, when I said Congress was talking about something called MK Ultra, which is mind control, or MK Naomi, or whatever they call it. It's mind control. They wonder what happened. If they announce they close it down, they never close it down, people. They just take the technology and use it beyond that. It's the same as like decommissioning a military base and 3 months later reopening it but not telling anybody. And they're using it in secret for themselves. All these cordoned off areas like Area 51, all these black sites, Dugway or whatever, can't come in here. That's just pure nonsense. They want to take over land and not be bothered while they research all their grant money to make weapons to attack, guess who? The American sovereigns with. That's all. That's all that's used for. So all of those areas also need to be basically opened back up and that land taken away from them, because it doesn't belong to them. It literally doesn't belong to them anyway, but it doesn't belong to them. So all that stuff needs to be opened up, and they need to be made gone. Okay, I just wanted to say that. But recently they said, what happened to MK Ultra? What happened to... Well, people, more than looking for old papers, take it from somebody who gets to watch it every single night. You ought to hear how these things talk. They have literally been, their minds have been destroyed completely and brought halfway back up so that they obey only the Franks, Nazis, or intelligence community, or whatever. That type of centrally located agency, if you know what I mean, or those types of the intelligence community. And to obey only them. All right, now they're also offshoots of a lot of people think they're getting responses from like these different website platforms or you know either audio or video storage platforms. They think they're getting. It's not the platform, people. It's them. It's these blocking teams, and they're able to enter any office building computer system, including the supposed any county or governmental whatever it is, and they can enter any one of them because they're trained and taught how to do, or programmed how to do it, just in case they need to, mess with somebody's files or make sure that they don't appear when they need them or what have you. But this is what happened with MK Ultra, people. They mapped the human brain. They put it in these abductees' minds. They're what they call converted. And you heard all these stories about, these abductees who are found now, but not even a day later found, but they're completely different. That is exactly what they've done to their mind. But these ones are made as weapons. And you ought to hear how they talk. They do it perfectly in a mirrored fashion so that anything they're guilty of, they just automatically talk and discuss between themselves like you're the one guilty of doing it. I mean, it is absolutely disgusting, people, how they talk. But I just heard that from Congress lately, but if you want, instead of looking for old paperwork, take it from somebody who is forced to listen to it and or watch it every night. And that's me. And this is what happened. What they've done with MK Ultra is to abduct Americans. This has a little bit to do with the 1954, the Eisenhower meeting. People have heard of that as well. Basically, he went in to somewhere and they didn't like it, so they cornered him at a particular Air Force base. Remember who owns the patents for this technology, right? Going and coming. And they cornered him and they, pretended to be aliens and basically wanted to coup the country that way as well. It had mostly to do with abducting and committing experiments on the abductees. That's exactly what they're doing right now. Anything that they do when they torture somebody, they use it as an experiment, and they take the information and they'll use it later, or they try to use it later. So that's what they're doing. And that's what happened to MK Ultra, or MK Naomi, or there's several names for it. And by the way, anytime you hear Operation this or Project that, those are actually Nazi terms, people. Those two words are Nazi terms, so you wonder, when all those scientists supposedly came over at the end of, got paper clipped on to some files, and I do emphasize paper clip. You wonder, what they did with them. Well, they all went into top governmental positions. I wonder how that worked out. They just got defeated in actual kinetic war, then they end up just going into all these countries and having prestigious governmental positions. I wonder how that worked. Right? So, anyway, that made way for the Fifth Reich. Remember, the third was in Germany, fourth was survival, fifth popped up here. And the voice, all red, white, and black. Now, you got to pay attention to colors too, people. The voice is all red, white, and black. They give you the V sign. The V. Victory is another important word there. they're red, white, and black. There's a lot of these TV shows, the popular ones, uh, they don't have to be new, but in yesteryear, every night I get to watch it. By the way, they hacked my TV the other night, so I couldn't get anything. I had to factory reset it. Um, and they do that. As long as you got a smart TV, they can do that. And that's why they make them cheap, so they can do that stuff to you and watch you and all that stuff. But I usually keep my volume down. And I do other stuff on either my tablet or computer or whatever. And I usually have it on a channel that replays shows like The Nanny, Fran Drescher, and all these other shows. But if you watch, especially The Nanny, I'll just use that one. Watch the main character, like her. People, she is almost constantly in every single episode, at some point, sometimes all episode long, in red, white, and black. I wonder whose colors those are. Just use your imagination and take a wild guess. Okay? So, anyway, people, I'm going to try to keep this short here because it's for rendering purposes. It's just much easier. And but just don't forget that colors are very, very important. And they don't like to repeat them everywhere, but I do know this, or I noticed it anyway, and it's still their colors. Around, if you go to South America, where there's a large nest of them as well, around Buenos Aires or the Argentina area, whatever, you'll notice these colors. It's still red, white, and black, but they add like light blue to the mix. Light blue to the mix. So if you just had the red, white, and black like they use over here, put all the main characters in over here, and then you just add like teal or sky blue to the mix. That's their color. Seems to be their colors over there. And I do know why that is. I'm not going to go into it right now, but I do know why that is. I'm trying to keep this short. But I did want to come on and give you at least a little more of what these, and they're nasty, they're horrible, these blocking teams do to the American sovereigns. They need to be taken out, like 7 years ago in my case, but they need to be taken out. They need to be removed. And their main excuse is, protection. It's for your protection. Nobody has ever signed, that I know, an executive agreement for protection. Nobody. That they are warring on the American sovereigns right now, people. And I'm one of them. I'm just letting you know. And this blocking team, it's on me. They need to be gone. It's been 7 years, and this crew leader, especially, and the assistant crew leader, are obsessed. They have an obsessive trait that they put in their program, which they, like in human form, because you have soft skin, they're called software. Okay, and then they program them with, who your target is, who you only answer to, and all that stuff. And, people, who watches somebody for 7 years straight? Where do they get the financing for all of that? You have to use your head. I know, because I have to sit here and listen to them every night and watch them every night, and watch what they do. But these idiots need to be taken out. They are not protection. They need to be removed from any and all American sovereigns that they're remotely watching, just like a few doors down from them in most cases. And they do a lot of stuff through Bluetooth and with Google tools, and they only mean to harm them and drive them crazy and all this stuff, so they can try to get them into a controlled environment. Or and you're not supposed to provoke people into crimes, people, either. That's also a crime. But all the fraud they're doing and the hoax that they're doing, they're trying to keep it secret by doing all this stuff. They need to be removed immediately. When you talk about the football and the nuclear codes, that might have a little something to do with them if you've watched The Kingsman. Okay? Press in a code and everybody goes wacko or drops dead or whatever. Yeah, something like that. Because they're called nuclear. Okay, so I'm going to cut this short. And I know it wasn't short. Golden, darling, I am so sorry. Again, I've been so long. But this information does need to get out. And especially with these blocking teams, they need to be removed. And any military that's watching this happen and just go on and on, well, somebody needs to speak up and start saying that they need these idiots removed from these American sovereigns who haven't harmed, like a fly, but they'll put all their crimes on the victim. That's called a 180 blame. That's what I call it. And that's exactly what they do. Okay, so they need to be taken out immediately, and they need to be, because they're guilty of, they have death sentences coming. They have the death penalty coming to them many times over every day. And that's what happened to MK Ultra. Mind control. They wanted so they could abduct Americans, have those Americans destroy other Americans so that they could kind of walk in the end and just take over everything. I don't think so. Okay? That's their master plan. All right, so now everybody knows. All right, so I'm going to cut this short. And Miss Golden, darling, again, I apologize. I've got one last thing to tell you on a little more friendly note and non-informational note here. Well, it'll be information for you, but it's kind of cutesy, funny stuff, hopefully. But anyway, I had, just so you know, and this is for Golden only, Miss Golden, I had, well, I don't know if you remember, like a few nights back, and I told you about a certain dream I had, and I think it was triggered by something that you had done a little earlier. In fact, I kind of know it was, and it's strange because I really don't want to say. There's been a few smaller ones, but it's no big deal. But you are there. I couldn't be happier. It's pleasantly strange. I'll put it that way. But a couple of nights back, oh my Lord! So if you remember, little dream I had. Which I did my best, and it took a while to illustrate it for you. But if you remember that, and you remember, because my dreams, I don't know about anybody else, but my dreams are strange. Okay. So I had another one of those a couple nights ago, and I was trying to get it done tonight so I could show you. And I figured I'd come on and do this at least so, I didn't expire or anything. But I'm going to try to get it up by tomorrow for you, darling. But all I will say to close this out, because I do need to get this done here, is, hopefully, if I can get it done for you tomorrow, I will say to you, Miss Golden, darling, tomorrow night, the dream continues. And it really does continue, because it continues exactly where I kind of blacked out. I came to at the kitchen table there. And, we go traveling. And talk. If you thought I was lost then, good Lord. Okay, so anyway, I don't want to ruin it for you, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. If you'll just promise me, if you'll just promise me that you won't judge me, and I'm really not that much of a dingbat, darling. I'm really not. At least I hope not. But I just gotta. I felt I gotta share this with you too. Uh, like I said, there's been some smaller ones, but this one kind of started to involve cake, meaning taking the cake kind of thing. So, okay, so if I can get it done for you tomorrow night, the dream continues. And I will, I really hope you got a chance to see, um, Beauty and the Beast that I put up here, with BumbleBee being the Beast. And, but I'll just put it this way, and I'll leave this here for you, darling. Hopefully, a lot of those feelings, hopefully that were heartfelt, uh, really did come from my heart. And I just wanted to let you know that, okay? And that was just for you, darling. That was only for you, okay? I hope everybody enjoys it, but that was just for you. So anyway, I've got to end it here. I hope everybody is okay. Stay safe. I love each and every one of you, and God bless you, and I will talk to you shortly here next time, okay? Everybody take care. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.